Hi everybody, this is my 2018 Honda Pioneer 500. I thought I would do a video. I've been asked several times to do one. I've obviously done, you can probably see already, I've done several modifications to it, and so I'll go through them. If anybody wants to do them, or if you have any questions, no problem at all. I'll try to answer every question I get. Just want to help the club any way that I can, and because you guys help me, and I like to return the favor. So I'm JD, 2018 Honda Pioneer 500. The first modification you can probably see right there is electric fan in front of the radiator. I did that because the electric fan comes on about 230 on these vehicles, yet the thermostat that's in the motor already runs 160 degrees. It's a 160 degree thermostat. Well, I want all of my vehicles run 170 on this farm, and so that's what I wanted, and so I put a fan on the front. The easiest way for me to do that was to put a fan on the front of the radiator, and indeed I got a switch on the dash and it runs 165 very easily all the time, no problem at all. This will result in longevity of your motor, less valve changes, less frequent oil changes, all sorts of advantages. I could go through if you have any questions on that. Anyway, next up is I made the hood. You can see the hood here has a seam going down it. You can see that. So I made the hood so you can take it off even though you got a windshield on here. And I just it's a pretty simple mod there. I put a little support bracket in the center of it, and then I got the luggage. There's a luggage drawer that you can get, and that had to be modified a little bit. Dremel tools come in real handy. That's not a problem. And so there's that I did, and so that's kind of nice. And then I'm going to go around here. I'll take the seats off in just a minute to show you more, but you can see this apparatus right here that's got a muffler installed in it. How about that? That's my intake. You can see it's a snorkel up there, the K&N air filter with the cover, with the pre-filter on it, and that's the way I go. Been with K&N for long enough that they sent me a giant poster that's inside my shop, so I think that's kind of cool, and they've always served me very well, so there's that. And this is a full open element air intake. It runs all the way to the throttle body. Unlike most of the others that attach outside of the throttle body, they leave the stock filter in. I take the stock filter out, and so you have a more direct airflow. The muffler here, you're probably wondering, why in the world did I do a muffler in the intake? And that's because the intake noise is really, really noisy on this thing if you run it straight. I'd never had that issue before on every open element. I've done a lot of them. Never had that before. It is truly noisy, but this muffler makes every difference in the world. And it's a straight through muffler. It's a glass pack from the 60s. It's about $25 on eBay. Works very well. I was kind of surprised the first time I ever put a muffler in an air intake system, but it came out good and it works good. And so I'll take the seats out in a minute and I'll show you what I mean and more about how to build it. The windshield does flip open. However, I put a bracket right here that keeps the windshield from fluttering, and I can drive it on the highway without taking off the windshield. So that's kind of nice, but I do have to loosen this bracket to move the windshield up. It only takes a minute with the set screw, but that's a real help with that. And then I reinforced it with aluminum strip, an aluminum strip that you can see there, make it a little stronger. This windshield is only 3/16 thick. I really wanted it 1/4 inch thick, but this type of flip up windshield you can't get 1/4. I like it because when you flip it up, you can put long things all the way from the extending out the hood all the way to the back of the ATV UTV, and so that's handy for me. I sometimes haul lumber around our 6-acre farm here. Anyway, then I took this stock little plastic box right here, and I added to it to make it taller and make it more like a real cargo box, and it greatly enhances the usability. And then I even put a tailgate on the back too, so that's kind of nice to have. Oh, it's essential for me. I use a chainsaw, as you can see, and my tools on the farm here. I got 6 acres where I maintain the fence line every year, and so I go around with my chainsaw to do that. And then this is a works table. You can change the chain or add oil and gas and etc. Right here on the tailgate. It's really handy. I'd do that again for sure. Anyway, that's that. And then right here below, there's another fella on YouTube that is very helpful, that showed people how to put a Yamaha Grizzly 550 exhaust outlet on their Honda Pioneer, and I recommend that mod. I did. That's why I did it. I did not use the spark arrestor because when you run a vehicle 170 degrees, it's not hot out here at the end of the exhaust at all. And so that's another advantage. There's not going to be any sparks or fire coming out the exhaust, not even close. So that's another advantage. You don't need a spark arrestor, and they plug up with carbon, and then they defeat the purpose of having an exhaust. And so, yeah, that's that works very well. And then let me see. And now we're moving on to the battery. I extended the battery cables. You can see, you might be able to see the cables coming out of the bottom of the battery box there. See those? There's the negative, the black one, and the red one is the positive. On doing this, what you need to do is take a bolt. You buy 4-foot long cables from Tractor Supply. That's where I got mine. 4-foot long, pretty heavy gauge. I think that's like 4, maybe 6 gauge, maybe. Anyway, you get those cables, and then inside the battery box, I took out the battery, and I took a bolt and bolted it from the red cable to the new cable, and then I taped it up, of course, with electrical tape, etc. And then on the negative one, I took it completely off. The negative battery cable is off, and it bolts to the body. Don't know if you can see it, but when you take off the cargo bed and you take off this cargo rack and the fenders, which is very easy to do, no, not a hard thing at all, then you will see where the negative battery just bolts up right in there, right straight through there. So if you take a long extension, it's very easy to get that off by doing that. It's right in there. There it is. I don't know if you can see that shiny bolt in there, but that's it. That's the negative battery cable where it attaches. And then what I did with that is I ran it in here, right here. Now I got to take out these seats, so that'll take just a second here. We're going to take the seats out. It's very easy to do on these, of course. And I'll show you the battery and the intake. Here's the rest of the intake. I insulated this the intake down here to keep the heat out. You always want your air intake to be as cool as possible, and as you can see, it runs really close to that exhaust shield, so you want to insulate that pipe. And so I did, and as you can see, it plugs directly into the throttle body. It's very easy to do. This is about the simplest air intake system that Honda, and fuel injection system on this is very simple. No check engine lights, by the way. It was running a 170-degree thermostat at all. It runs great. You can see I put a positive crankcase filter on there and the drain. It still has the stock drain. I'll show you that over here. It is right here. Here's the drain, stock drain. So whenever oil vapors turn into like oil, then it drains out here, and you can easily pull this plug and drain the oil in a container or something or whatever to recycle the oil. You can see mine don't have any in it right now, but it does collect oil at times, so that makes it a lot easier to drain too. But over here, show you also something else I did. This is the intake air temperature sensor, and it's nice to have this as far out. This is about as far out as you can do it, as you can get it, because it's cooler. You want the coolest air for your intake air temperature sensor. It runs a little better, makes a little more power. So I got that done. So as you can see, that is really very simple. You can very easy to work on your Honda Pioneer with that giant air intake, air filter, and etc. out of the way. So that's nice. Now, I'm going to take out this seat here real quick. I did add a little cup holder here because I drink coffee and tea, so I put my coffee cup here and put my tea cup right there, and got a room for a passenger to have the same if they want it. But anyway, I got seat covers here. These are just generic seat covers. They're not directly for a Honda Pioneer, but they fit pretty darn close. And so they're only like $30, so I can give you a link for those too if you want. I bought most all of this stuff on Amazon. So there's the battery. It's very important to do that modification. It's really worth doing, because if you ever want to jump your Honda Pioneer, it's very easy to do, as you can tell. Look how easy that would be. If you want to hook up a 12 volt to 110 volt inverter, one would fit right here in the front, real easy, very easy to mount one right here, and the cables would be short, which would be really good power to that inverter. And I don't really have a need for it as of right now, but if I wanted to, I could put an inverter on there easy. Then also, if you want to jump another car with your Honda Pioneer, it'd be very easy to do that with this setup, and your battery will last 10 times longer, at least. When you got a battery that size, well, it works really well in these vehicles. Not a problem with that at all. Very, very nice to have that. I'd do that all over again for sure. Let's see, is there anything else I can think of? I did add a glove box from a company that's very easy to do. And then I have a nice little dash here I'll show you. I got a RPM gauge from Glow Shift. Mine are from Glow Shift, and then I got a water temperature gauge. They work very well. I always run water temperature gauge on everything I have. And then I got this Dyno Jet tuner, which is nice. You got several different parameters you can tune this with, which I like that. I got the ones I have set up right now is the timing, gear, the gear that you're in, the intake air temperature, and the volts that your battery is at. Mine's actually higher than that. I don't know why it's reading 11.9. It's actually higher than that. It's not almost dead. It runs really good. Works really good. I'll start it up for you so you can tell what it's going to sound like with that air intake on there. So you can see that idling, it's really quiet, or you can hear that. I'll rev it up and see if it makes any more noise. See, it don't really make noise idling, but if you get this on the road and you're shifting, when you shift gears, when it shifts gears, especially if you're going uphill, that intake gets pretty noisy. Only when you're shifting. If you don't put a muffler in here, I'll warn you, it is loud all the time. You're going to wear earplugs if you don't install this muffler, I promise. So, but That'll save you a little bit of time there. I tried this with just the pipe, and of course, like I say, that didn't work. Get the muffler. I think you'll be pleased you did. Anyway, if you have any question on these mods, feel free to call me. To call me to ask a question. Here's the electric switch, so you can see the fan comes on all the time whenever I want it on. I just turn it on in the summer. I just turn it on when I start it. I never have a problem. So I also installed put a horn on it. That works really nice. And well, that's about it. So if you got any question on these mods, feel free to ask me, and I'll try to help you out. Take care.